Hello and welcome to the Inside Stylists Podcast. I'm Emma Morton-Turner and you're listening to episode 15, Getting to the Bottom of Scents in the Home with Jo Glanville-Blackburn, or JGB as we like to call her. So today's guest isn't an interior stylist, just for a change.
Nope, she wished she was.
Someone completely new and completely different. Today's guest has been a beauty editor for quite a long time, actually. She's written books.
Only a couple of years.
We won't talk about it.
I'm so young. Not.
I want to introduce you as Jo GB, but it's Jo Glanville-Blackburn. We know each other from Woman and Home.
We do.
This is always, everything seems to root, all these podcasts seem to root back to Woman and Home.
Relationships.
I was the home editor and you were the beauty editor on Woman and Home, and that's how we know each other.
Yes.
And the reason that I wanted to have you on was, we'll kind of go back to your journey in a minute, but just so anyone listening, is because you've got a whole new interiors line coming through. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. I don't want you to think I've completely gone off target and just talking about beauty. Because Jo has a range of candles that are absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
And actually, let's dive straight into that. So your range of candles are natural.
Well, because as we said, my journey has always been preferring natural over synthetic, albeit there are synthetics in aroma that are fine. Synthetics in skincare and body care, that's fine. But when something touches your heart and your nerve, and it's in nature, and that's been my thing. So we all love being in the garden. We all love being surrounded by plants. We know the effect a bunch of flowers has on somebody rather than a squirty spray, and it's that innate natural instinct that we have as human beings that we resonate with plants, and that is my core. And so when I've written fragrances over the years, there are some beautiful fragrances out there, and don't get me wrong, I love fragrance of all kinds. But when you have a fragrance that is majorly high in naturals, the essential oils, they work with your skin in a magical way. A body cream, for instance, because of a cream, it sits on your skin, it blocks. It doesn't work with your chemistry because it's got a synthetic barrier. Whereas natural oils, they work with your chemistry, they work with your magic. They create something that's almost exclusively yours. And that's the beauty of, I think, natural aromas and essential oils. And I think back in the 90s, when I was an earlier, younger assistant beauty editor, that the industry then was huge. It was all about aromatherapy. It was all about, you couldn't go to a press launch without having tarot cards read and Reiki and, it's bizarre, but it was all very, and that is not bizarre, but it was just kind of very much more well-being focused and more about you and your emotions. And then as a world and a universe, and we latched onto celebrity life, and we forgot about our emotions and our moods for so many years, the whole decades of the late 90s and the noughties, where and still now celebrity is everything. But I think now more than ever, everybody is finding that it really isn't, and everybody's looking for more wellness and more heartfelt emotions in everything we do. And I think we're so stressed, we're so stretched. Emma and I before I'm just saying, I don't know, I can't keep going. Oh my God.
So much on our plates, so much more on our plates now than before. The world got a little bit faster, and we have to keep up. And
so it's finding things, everyone individually, finding things that really make you come back to your core and to yourself and really matter to you. And so, God, that was a long answer to your lovely question. But
it's lovely because it does lead on to the candles, because the candles are. I'm just going to interject here that this is the second time we've recorded this, so I'm going to thank Jo for her time for a second time, because the first recording, let's just say, didn't quite work out how I'd planned. So I'm back again. So we have had this conversation before.
Can I say you deleted it, or was it me?
I didn't delete it. Well, I broke it.
She doesn't love me after all.
I broke it. An excuse to come back for more.
Yeah.
But what you were talking about, that kind of the nature and stuff, and that's your kind of your ethos. So, and you have put that into your range of candles. So, do you want to talk a little bit about candles?
I'm so not a poncy,
No, you're very down to earth.
But I am very down to earth. I'm a mother of 3, very passionate about my children, as are you, Emma. It's like, they mean everything to me, and the home means everything to me. And I genuinely do think, I've said it so many times over the years, was always a frustrated homes editor when I was a beauty editor.
I was never a frustrated beauty editor. I look at lipsticks and go, how do I write about 3 red lipsticks? They all look the same.
Oh, I've done a book.
Until they're on my list, yeah. There's health benefits to having like natural candles, isn't it? Because your candles are made of soy, is that correct?
Soy and rapeseed, and working with real artisan, all in Britain, experts who are constantly trying to evolve that side of things as well for me. So it's like actually, Jo, everything it's like it's an evolution, and it's lovely because instead of thinking mass. Because obviously we are little,
yes.
So they're all made fresh and little fresh batches. But it's that thing, nothing sits on a shelf. And the people we're working with, it's all like very, very much kind of hands-on, working together, creating something that exactly that, where the smells, they're all that. We basically worked with as well as the wax expert, we worked with a natural perfumer. And so all of the aromas, we worked with together. So he can go, what about this one?
How did you start that? Because I remember you doing fragrance features.
Yeah.
So you know how to talk about scents. You know a lot about scent. So how did you come up with, it must be like, there are so many scents. Where do you start? How did you know what you wanted? Because there's 3 candles. Yes. One's called... Well, do you want to talk through them? So we've got Mojo.
They're here.
Slow Jo. Yeah. And Gojo. So should we start with Gojo?
Okay. Well, the idea of the actual range, there are more to come.
More Joes.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. You use your imagination. With God willing, with time, to evolve. But the essence is that I have to love them, and they have to be natural fragrances.
Yeah. So they're fragrances you're drawn to.
Yeah. So they're all 100% natural fragrances, created much like a fine fragrance where you have a top, middle, bottom accord.
Oh yes, we talked about this last time we recorded it. I didn't know this, so can you explain what that is? So when you have a candle, it has top fragrance, middle fragrance, and bottom fragrance. No. Oh God, I didn't listen to that.
No, that's the thing. No. When you have a fragrance, a quality fragrance is constructed with 3 accords, sometimes even more, but usually it's 3 classic accords where the top is full of effervescent, maybe citrusy notes that hit you, and then you go, lemon, bergamot, and then there's a middle. So it's kind of like they're the top ones that you really sort of resonate with immediately when you smell it, and then with a little bit of time on your skin, for instance, obviously not in a candle on your skin. Well, there you can, but not these. You go into the middle area, which is tends to be more flowers in the heart, kind of like rose and lavender, etc. And then in the base you get the more heavier. So it's like a tier of weight.
The tier of the scent. So you can smell them all at the same time, but you find you kind of smell one as you breathe in. You get first, then the second, then the third in one breath. It's not that the candle burns down and you get. So it's kind of like
That's
really
interesting. So with any fragrance, that is the magic of fragrance, is that with your mood and a moment, those top notes will exhilarate you, and then if you're wearing an aroma, as the day passes, those top notes will have evaporated off, and then you'll be left with the rest lingering on your skin, and that evolves. And so often with candles, with fine candles and expensive candles, because these aren't cheap, but it's because of the quality of the fragrance in there that we then want to do more things with down the line. There's 10% of pure oil in there, and it's all pure essential oil. There's no synthetics, there's nothing in there. It's just literally good stuff. And so you literally, your mood will shift and change with the aromas, and a lot of aromas are filled with synthetics. You should be able to read it on the ingredients. You should be able to source,
almost like food.
Read your labels.
You should really state it.
And with skincare as well, and anything. So read your label. But everything should be transparent these days. But quite often, big brands, have got a base, a wax that's mineral oil, which when you burn, it burns off, potentially toxic fumes, etc. We'll get onto that a bit later. But so when it comes down to the aroma, what you get, if you have a higher percentage and it's solid fragrance rather than a couple of notes, then you smell it when you walk in the room. It lasts, it lingers, and then it becomes actually good value for money, because you can buy. This is the response we've been getting from our customers who have been blown away, and literally, and we are blown away by their response. It's incredible. Where literally they just said, "Oh my God, you can smell the worth," and I've been so disappointed over the time. I'm a candle fan, and these linger in the room, these last, etc., etc., and suddenly you can see why you might pay more if that's what you want. Equally, if you want to line up 6 candles decoratively and not necessarily for their aroma, then these wouldn't necessarily be for you. But if it's for aroma, then
it's very interesting, because I think it's a well-known fact that press gifts are quite often candles.
Yes.
And I have asthma, so I have to be really careful with what I burn, because actually I went to a friend's not so long ago, and she's got a beautiful house, and she'd set it all up, and she'd put candles on the table, but they weren't an expensive candle. They weren't expensive, because some expensive candles are not made with natural products, but it was obviously a synthetic candle, and I literally was sitting there thinking, is it rude for me to ask her to blow out her beautiful setting, because I actually can't breathe. I was really struggling, and I was only there about half an hour, and it's like just a living room, like any other living room or dining room, but because yours is soy, you don't have that. It's clean air, and I can sit in a room. I mean, when we recorded this, it was cold, and now it's summer. But the first recording, but we had all 3 burning the whole time we were recording for about an hour, and I didn't even notice that.
Thank
they
God
were there.
for that.
Can you imagine?
Imagine.
I
know. She wouldn't have deleted that video and come back.
But we recorded that in February, and it's now May, and I've been very careful of what I put my what candles I burn and where. Like if there's a inexpensive, like a real cheapie, I won't even have. I'll put it in the garden. I won't even have it in the house, because I know how it will affect me, and I understand it better now because of what you said. But also, when people have candles, I'm going to give a candle tip now to anyone.
Well, no one sends me candles anymore. It's very funny.
I should hope not.
I think it's hysterical. My daughter. It's a really funny story. But my daughter, my youngest, was due to do work experience at a very renowned fragrance company that have candles that. And they,
she's laughing because I'm pulling the face.
They said because of conflict with me that she couldn't do the work experience.
Oh, that's really interesting. I think that's probably right.
Hysterical. I absolutely agree. Yeah.
On both sides. She says something she doesn't mean to,
I didn't think of that. God help her. But I just thought it was just so funny that there are these lovely little trio of candles coming out that you just think,
it's just you guys.
You think I'm a threat?
You're a little family business.
Love it.
Yeah. I think you probably are a threat.
Not yet.
That's very interesting. Yes, but some small acorns and all of that.
Funny? Very funny. Oh my God, I'm forgetting you've got a microphone going. But anyway, where were we?
So I was going to say top tip.
Yes.
So
we were talking about your chest.
My chest, yes. But what I was going to say was, when you do burn candles, my top tip, when you do burn candles, they should burn evenly. So if you light one, you leave it to burn for however long, depending on the size. If you've got like a regular glass sort of size, probably half an hour, it will melt the top layer. And as you burn the candle each time, the whole candle will go down in one piece. You won't get a big hollow.
Yes, you should.
And that's the sign that you, and half an hour to an hour, and you will have the whole room scented, and it will stay scented for the evening.
Easily.
For a number of hours. Whereas less natural candles tend to blow. The scent goes pretty much the moment you blow them out.
Yeah,
and soot, you get lots.
Even sometimes when they've opened the box, it's quite funny actually. Apparently, I mean, I don't know. I didn't think I wasn't quite as critical of it as I have been learning with some of my customers now. They've taught me a lot, which is in itself is really quite fun. And so yeah. You should, with a new candle, you should always. There are things that I didn't know until embarking on this little journey. I can tell you right now, but yeah, you should always burn a new candle for at least 2 hours, because if you burn it out before, then you will help that pooling, which shouldn't happen if a candle has been created well.
Yes.
But there are all sorts of things like wick dimensions and things, and the reason a lot of brands put paraffin into a wax formulation is because it burns cheaply, and it's phenomenally cheap. It's the cheapest ingredient possibly you could imagine in your candle, and major brands use paraffin wax, but it gives off the same fumes that you get from diesel. It's
not good.
It's extraordinary that more isn't made aware, because it should be your choice, and you're paying a lot, you're paying a little, there are major, very popular, cheaper brands, but they're burning off mineral paraffin wax the whole time, and it's like, that's not good enough that people don't talk about, what is in this product that you've bought, regardless of how much you paid, whether you paid £5 or £75, whatever. And I think that in itself, and the quality of the ingredients, and and where it's coming from, because I don't know. I think that value is not there when something is so mass produced and made in a country where sustainability hasn't been considered as well. So it's all those aspects that we supposedly really, really are up for now. Still, it's like, actually, everybody needs to just be a little bit more honest and care.
I think I learned a lot about this from you from the first recording. But I was aware of it, but not massively aware of it. I didn't really understand it until I spoke to you about it. So, but I think you're right. I think there should be some labelling and people being aware of it, so they can check the packaging and see, and then make an educated decision.
Well,
do I want to have the cheaper one with the paraffin, or do I want to spend a bit more and not have it?
Yeah, because you can
make your own choice.
Absolutely, and I think that people just, it's exactly that. It's like why are you not saying it? Well, there we go. That's because
no one will buy them. Exactly.
Well, because you're actually not proud of your product. Like, where's the pride in what you're creating? And that, as having been in our business for so many years, I've always cared about what I've written, what I've produced, and to change that now when I'm just creating something that I'm proud of, that's got my name on it, albeit a bit of my name, is why do that? Why? It's my money. I haven't got some major backer behind me. It's me. It's just me. But you think, you have to do things with conviction. I think.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Let's talk about this. We didn't talk about the scents.
So there are 3. So
I have
3 kids.
Do you have a
3
favourite?
candles to start with.
Do you have a different favourite for different
my mood?
Different days, different times. Okay, so talk me through which mood, which scent, which mood, which day, which scent.
So when I'm exhausted, then Gojo, it's a little uplifting candle. I love lemongrass, which I love, and lemon in the top, and it's got lovely notes like Palmarosa in the middle, and then frankincense with woods in the bottom. And I love frankincense as well. I use that quite a lot when I give myself like mini massages and everything, and I use it like little aroma drops, etc. And so those are areas where we want to kind of steer the aromas as well, because I want everyone to be able to smell in the home, even if you don't burn a candle. So all those kind of things. Anyway, so Gojo is quite uplifting. Very uplifting. And we have one loved customer, and she was so sweet. She had written back to me after getting Gojo, and she'd just lost her partner, and I literally had tears in my eyes. It was really touched such a nerve. And she said that it had given her the positivity. It was like it's just a candle, but it was so beautiful the way that she said that this aroma had literally lifted her so much that she was using it as her way of coping. I was like, oh my god, I couldn't have made that one up if I tried. It was like, and she was so sweet. She's become our best customer, and she literally then she sampled all three of them and was just like, and she loves them all. But it was like, god, and she was keeping a little card of it by her computer to smell it. Anyway, so then then when you want the absolute opposite, Slow Jo is our little babe. She's very relaxing. So she's got lavender. I say she, I apologise. They're unisex. Actually, they are unisex.
They are unisex.
Because that's the other thing. They're not flowery.
They're not at all
not flowery. Which was, see, back to the other thing you said.
Chypre.
Chypre, exactly.
Chypre.
Very big. You're good. You do remember.
Because I know I'm drawn to Chypre.
Yeah. Oh, good. Thank God for that.
We'll come back to that in a minute.
If you vomited in the corner.
Tell us what is in Slow Jo.
So, lavender. Geranium, labdanum, which is a real soporific little number, and sandalwood as well. Yeah. And so that's a real kind of mood changer. And then Mojo, which had to be in the range because it was like, that name alone. This is the sensual one. So we kind of say this one's the boudoir. Although for some reason I burn it everywhere.
Really interesting, yeah. Because I would put Slow Jo in the boudoir.
Well, that's the thing. See, well, it depends. You want to go to sleep, huh?
I don't think it's me that wants to go to sleep. I think smelling Mojo. Sorry, you haven't even said what's in Mojo, but Mojo smells very summery and spring-like to me, whereas Slow Jo smells a bit more winter, a bit more cozy.
Isn't that interesting? Because
and that's probably not what it's supposed to be.
But highlights
that's my interpretation.
Well, this is it. But also it highlights what you feel, what notes you pick up, because they're genuine plant essential oils, not something synthetic that smells the same in every single bottle, wherever you go, at any time of the day, blah blah blah. And that's when it really does matter. So Mojo, you've got what have you got in there? You've got oh my god, from patchouli. Patchouli and sandalwood.
See, that to me that's
base.
Very summery. But then go on. Sorry.
Really? No, see that's the incense one. So actually, if you were to give them a season, then Gojo would be spring, summer. Slow Jo would be winter, and Mojo would be autumn. So then again, maybe that makes sense. But so that's the sensual kind of sexy one because of the patchouli and a few other notes that are tucked in there, ylang ylang and a few others. But yes, I'm not good with flowers. There are flowers in there because of the way they work with the body's chemistry, but you will never pick these up and think they're flowers.
No, not at all.
No, and I am a Chypre woman.
So
a lot of women become Chypre.
I went to a fragrance workshop years ago, and that's where I learned what Chypre is. So from my understanding, people are drawn to a certain group of fragrances, and Chypre was the one that was mine. Can you talk a little bit about that, because that's all I remember. It's just what my one was.
Okay. So there were always 4 classic groups. So there was obviously the floral, and then you'd have the Fougère, which is more like ferns and lavender.
So things like at Christmas when you get like a pine scent that smells like a Christmas tree.
That's right.
I hate that. Sorry, carry on.
But I'll explain. And then there's Oriental, which is more kind of vanilla-y and peachy and kind of quite sweet and fruity kind of rich. So I mean that evolved on to do the whole gourmand category, which then all the categories evolved bigger. Right. But the core ones were always these 4, and then Chypre would have always the woods, and you'd have amber, and very very primarily actually quite masculine as a if you looked at base notes, which is why these as Chypre they appeal to men. So like my husband, he lives in a house, I had to create something he loved, plus he works with me with them, and so it was all very much
Yeah.
So, and we've got a son and we've got girls, so men matter, and so from that 4 core, Fougère then actually started not really being talked about much, interestingly, and then because Fougère was kind of like the men's eau de cologne kind of area, but then you then instead would create a citrus category and kind of a woody oriental category, and so these categories
almost
kind
overlap
of
a little.
And I think sometimes it's a marketing. The core was always those original groups. Fragrance marketing.
I think
about
in interiors,
scents.
I don't think that's talked about very much. I think it's very much a fragrance thing, and I only know about it because I went to a fragrance event. I've never. I mean, so other people may have heard it before, but I have never heard that talked about.
But why not talk more about interior aroma anyway? Because it's crucial. I wrote a piece just sort of last autumn, I suppose, for Woman and Home before for Sue left, and it was all about you walk in the door and it's that thing, you're just like, oh God, well, hopefully anyway. This is an argument going on. You've walked in your front door, you put your bags on the floor and your shoulders just go,
I'm home.
Yeah. And what better than when you come into your home than actually to be very aware of the aroma in your home, because aroma, it speaks to the heart, it speaks to your senses and everything, and it's the fastest. I'm sure people have read this and know this, but it's because scent is so linked to our limbic system, our smell, the aroma triggers our brain, memory, emotions faster than anything. I mean, it's proven.
Absolutely.
And so why, when you walk in your door in your home, wouldn't you want to know that it's actually goosebumps. I'm so ridiculous, but it is. It's just like you just want your space to smell like home, or just like peace and comfort, and that just would put you in such a good mood. Yeah,
I went to a sleep event not long ago, and there was a sleep coach expert talking about scent and in your bedroom, and that if you travel a lot and you find it difficult to sleep, you should spray your pillows with the scent of whatever sleep enhancing lavender or whatever, and then when you go traveling you have the same scent with you, and you can make the hotel smell like home.
That's right.
So that you can relax and sleep easier, and it's exactly what you're saying. It's like,
especially if you've got kids as well.
You mentioned your husband Jim, and you've got 3 children. Did they have a lot of did you get them to do lots of sniff tests on the scents you were coming up with, or did you kind of know exactly what you wanted?
To be honest, no, that was mostly me with Jim. So the perfumer would be responding to my sense of smell because of my background, and I am very, very fussy about aromas, terribly so, worse and worse since became very sensitive to smell when I had my children, which a lot of women find.
Yes. I'm just going to tell a very
good
story.
So I love it.
Way back before Jo was on Woman and Home, we had another beauty editor, and I was the interior stylist on the magazine, and I sat next to her but with my back to her, and when I got pregnant she'd say, oh, this new fragrance is coming, do you want to smell it, Emma? And the home editor at the time, Charlotte Boyd, she knew I was pregnant, but I hadn't told anyone yet because it was still early days, and because we lift boxes I had to tell people quite early. Charlotte would jump up quickly, run past me to go, oh, let me smell, so that I didn't have to smell the perfume, because it made me feel so ill. Because any strong fragrance, however lovely it was, made me feel absolutely awful. Only at the beginning. Once you get past, a certain amount of time, you're absolutely fine.
Absolutely, much like food. Lovely. Yeah. But I have a daughter with asthma, and that was also, mentioning that briefly, was when you, because I know you have asthma as well. Yeah. Why the importance of ingredients in a candle matter if you're going to burn them, otherwise don't burn them.
So your candle business is called JoGBLiving.com is the website, everybody. So you can go and
come visit them. Come say hi.
And was it November you launched?
Yes, middle of November.
So it's not been going very long. You've only been going 6 months. You've got these candles. So you've got 3 candles at the moment. Have you got plans for new things? Are you adding to the line? There's a smile. There's a smile.
Well, there are lots of. Oh,
can you share? If you don't want to talk about this yet, then I completely understand.
There's so much we want to do. It's just diffusers. It's quite
fabulous.
But the nature of the diffuser is quite different. So it's not. We hope at the moment we love what we're doing, and so there's something that they go in that isn't the norm.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
That is a very nice natural progression, actually.
Yeah, because also, like, I have a very dear friend who's a therapist, and she's going, I can't burn candles in my office.
Oh, because of
Please.
safety. Yeah.
Yeah.
And things like, I love a diffuser in a bathroom or a downstairs loo, or it's just there, and you walk in and it's you're walking into a toilet and you're like, oh, it smells lovely in here.
Yeah. So I mean, I had to start with candles because
why candles? Why not something beauty?
Because candles are beauty and the home to me, and I'm not. If you saw me.
You will. Just go to the show notes and you can see Jo.
I'm not, I was a journalist. I'm not a beauty, per se. I've got quite nice hair.
You've got beautiful hair.
Thank you.
Redhead Ed.
And redhead,
her, what was that?
Yeah, redhead beauty. That was my original. Yeah. Hence why my sense of smell is quite acute as well, because redheads have a thing with aroma. So it was in the blood. There we go. So why the home? Because for me, candle is the benchmark between beauty and the home. And so down the line, depending on how we do, who's to say? But I was never going to launch a skincare range because there's plenty of skincare out there. That's not to say there aren't plenty of candles out there, but there aren't lots of luxury natural candles, and that's why, and also ones that I wanted my home to smell like. If no one buys them, I'll just burn them myself. If I have to, and because aroma has been my thing.
It's very interesting because it does tie in. There are a lot of beauty brands who I'm in touch with because they do candles and diffusers and home fragrance.
Yeah.
It's very interesting how it's that kind of crossover. Jim, the lovely Jim, is a photographer.
He is a photographer.
And he has shot your product range, hasn't he? And they're really lovely shots.
Always on it, actually. It's kind of
stop. It's quite handy having a photographer for a husband.
Very handy.
Why didn't I think of that?
And he designed our website.
Yes.
And
you guys are like the whole package, aren't you?
We have been called that over the years, actually. Yeah. I know. He's lovely. He's so chilled and calm, and he's got such a good eye, and we never argue about the way things look. So we do like the weekend shoots together. It's so cute. It's so sweet. It's kind of romantic. And then the children walk in and go, shh, move that. I suppose the harmonious life is not really ever like that, really, is it? He's I think a lot of people say, oh God, I'd never work with my husband, but I've worked with him.
To work with mine.
Yeah, I've worked with him on and off over the years. But it's kind of I think also what's really nice is because he's a photographer, designer. He was a designer originally, and an artist, and he does artwork as well. And so that's another side that we want to bring into it too, where we're creating artwork. And so and all artisany, kind of gorgeous, hands-on, yum. Anyway, and so I was because he started at Pan, and I was on a magazine, Options, which died years and years ago, but. I'd moan about the art department, still do actually, by the way. He'd moan about the editors because they'd want to put loads of words on, etc. And so we suddenly realised we were moaning about the opposites, and actually we then started to kind of help each other understand the other side, which is quite funny. And so over the years, when we've worked together, we kind of helped each other out, and we like saying Pantone references. It's really quite scary, actually. It's quite... It gets creepy.
Do you both come downstairs in the morning and go, oh, we're both wearing stripes?
Don't do
Not
stripes.
quite there. When Theodore and I used to work together, actually, and same happened with Charlotte as well, you'd come into work and you'd both be wearing the same clothes, and it was literally like we're both wearing jeans and stripes, we're both wearing a blue skirt and a pink top or whatever it was, and it's weird, you just kind of morph into each other.
It's Cute.
Very, very worrying when it's not your husband, though. Or is it worrying when it is your husband? I'm not quite sure.
But it does intrigue me. So with it's my turn. I'm gonna, because she doesn't forget. I like to talk. I'm gonna. But so you don't really talk about the aromas and things when you're talking about room sets and stuff.
Well, if you're doing a feature on it, then you can go into quite a lot of detail.
Yeah.
But I don't know that you would go into kind of the Chypre side of things.
Sure.
I think you would talk about how the room makes you feel and the best way to make that room smell nice, what products, where you put them, how you use them in your home.
Because scent works just like colour.
Yeah.
You know, they are
but you can't
inextricably linked.
Because we're very visual in what we do. We do more, I think in general, we do more room set shoots than feature. So it's more about the candle feature, but the candle in the room set.
Yeah.
And then you don't really talk about the scent. It's something that looks pretty in a shot.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
As well as having your own company making candles, you've got lots of other things going on, haven't you? So actually, we didn't even mention that you are actually a beauty editor still. And
I am still a beauty
write
editor.
And shoot.
Don't forget, people.
You're freelance,
commission me.
Yes, you can do beautiful things for beautiful people everywhere. But you have your own blog and YouTube, YouTube channel.
Yes, I do.
You're very busy, really, aren't you?
Yes, I think I won't say jack of all trades because it's all the same area, but it is quite scary, like trying to understand
Juggle it all.
Yeah, but it's quite exciting. And leaving a magazine beginning of the year, Woman and Home, and branching out more for the immediacy of how our business has gone has really been so rejuvenating.
Yeah.
As well. And although I know that my heart pounds away from fear of what I've forgotten, what link. I was telling Emma about my inability to link and all that kind of stuff. I'm just like, I just can't remember anything. But all of that at the same time, it's really exhilarating. And I love doing Instagram for the candles because there's this grey theme and I just love finding more grey things. I seem to have everything in the house is freaking grey, for God's sake. But I didn't realise how grey I'd become. But it's really quite funny. And so yeah, it is a bit of a juggle. There's quite fun. The journalist side of me is quite nice. I do some newspaper things. So again, rather than something that's a monthly, so it's done way in advance, it feels much more on the pulse.
More immediate.
And so I do some videos in bed with Jo, which are fun. And those I interview someone. So again, see, it's not about me. It's about the other person I'm with, which is quite fun because there are some real characters out there. And there's some real characters in the beauty industry. I'd love to do some home ones. You know, if people,
do you want me
on the bed? Do you want
me to come into bed with you?
Yeah, do, Emma. Tongues will
I
wag.
love your videos. I think they're great. They're really fun, but they're really informative. So they're really good. So that's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And the so if anyone wants to find you, so on YouTube you're Jo GB, and your little series is called In Bed with Jo.
Yes. And I'm starting one called Jo on the Go as well.
Jo on the Go,
which is shorter.
Are you going to be walking? Is it like me with my dog?
I might be in the back of a cab or exactly. I'm going to be.
You can be anywhere.
Yes, walking. Imagine me walking with a lipstick. Be all over my cheeks in a second. Or I like it on the cheeks.
With your dog.
With my dog.
She's got this huge dog. It's not like me walking Alan where I can have a little tug and he's behaves. Huge.
Yeah, but he does behave.
I'm just going to share all these links so if anyone wants to find we don't. So the candles are jogbliving.com and the Instagram for that is also jogbliving. And if they want to follow you for your beauty on Instagram, you're Jo Glanville-Blackburn, and the blog is jogb.co.uk.
Yes.
So that's a lot of Jo's to remember. So if you're driving or you're in the gym, don't worry, it's all going to be in the show notes, and you'll be able to find them at insidestylist.com/JoGB, which is really easy to remember.
I think so.
Or you could just go to the podcast tab and find it there. So we talked about all sorts of things. I'll tell you what we haven't talked about are the aroma cards.
Yay.
So you didn't have aroma cards last time. This is what I believe in karma. I'm here for a second time because we didn't have aroma cards.
You're right.
Let's talk aroma cards. So what is an aroma card?
Okay, well this we're pretty pleased with ourselves here because our candles are, for the moment only online. but direct from us. And the reason also, apart from anything else, was to have that connection with first customers and build up what they are responding to. Because otherwise, I think if you're just in a shop and someone buys it, you don't know. You've got no connection. So that was really important to us. And then we kind of thought, well, lots of people are going, you could see because of clever things with the back end of analytics. You're thinking, why didn't they buy it? What stopped them? And so Jim and I were like going, what could we do? And we'd already, because obviously you want to experience it, and it's very hard to experience scent by post. Hashtag sent by post with a C, SCAENT. We'd already created these lovely.
It's very clever.
I'm just so sad.
Sent by post. I love it.
By post. Thank you. I knew you'd love it. So we'd already created these lovely postcards that we were just going to put in the boxes when we post them out anyway, because everything's about the way you receive your lovely candle. We decided that actually we'd create these little hand-dipped, instead of like a scent stick, it's like a piece of paper that's literally hand-dipped in wax. So it holds, you open the envelope and, oh my God. So there are 3 cards, 3 candles. And so on our website, there's in the menu, there's aroma cards, and you can just sign up and ask for 1 or all 3 if necessary. And we'll post them to you so you can smell it and experience it before you buy.
So how do you wrap... sorry, my practical head working. Are they wrapped? Are they like sealed so that they don't... Here we have some right in front of us now.
It's like Blue Peter.
Blue Peter, yeah.
Here I made one earlier. Or
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly it.
La la la. So
Oh, I see. So there's a postcard we've got Gojo here in front of us, which is scented.
She explains it.
And then on the back, there's a piece of, it looks like almost
beautiful watercolour paper.
I was just going to say,
no expense spared here.
It does look like watercolour paper, which obviously is, and it's taped to the back, and then the bottom half of it is dipped in wax.
Yes, it is.
And it smells exactly like the candle, because it essentially is the candle.
Exactly.
That is so clever.
And then the little envelopes.
With Jo GB emblem on, really lovely.
That's cute.
That's so clever. So, are you finding people are buying a lot more because they can? It's such a good idea for a website.
And do you know what's really nice? It really is because
I put this in my knicker drawer.
But that's what they're doing.
Or my car. Probably need it in my car more than my knicker drawer.
Why don't you put Mojo in your knicker drawer? There we go. There's a whole other podcast going on there. So you see that, but that is exactly.
Don't tell Tim, everyone. Don't tell Tim.
Well, that is exactly what happens. So, so they honestly lovely customers, just so lovely. One of them had this by her office in her desk, and that's what inspired her to get it, because she loved it when she was working, which is really sweet. That's Gojo. And then another lady was saying how she had slow Jo in her bedroom because she obviously wouldn't sleep and not so. Okay. I said the magic S word. And that's they living with them and keeping them in the car as well.
Brilliant.
Preferably not slow Jo, I think, in the car, because you never know. So literally they're able to live with it before they buy it, which you can't do that as far as I'm aware.
I've never heard
with
of
anything.
It. No.
Yeah. And it was very sweet, because one customer she replied saying, "Oh my gosh, I can't even believe, I thought it would be like some squirty scent on a nasty little stick." And so she was saying about the cars and everything. She was saying, "Oh, it's so beautiful."
Yeah, really nicely done.
That's what happens when you do it yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Attention to detail.
Yeah. I think, you care,
So what's next then?
Well,
balancing everything.
Yes, I mean, just, I suppose, awareness, really. Thank you.
Oh, so let's talk about how stylists can feature you.
Oh, God.
So you've got imagery that people can contact you
to
get the images.
Absolutely.
And show notes, people, just drop a line. The email will be in the show notes. Drop a line to you. You've got images. Have you got samples people can use?
Yes, we've got samples, and we've got cutouts as well. So anything you need.
Yeah, they're really beautiful. They're in like these dark... Is that grey?
Dark grey.
Funny that.
Yeah,
grey.
It's weird. As far as that, it's the modern neutral.
It's a grey glass, and it's got the Jo GB emblem on the top, and then it's got the name of each one underneath. They're really smart. Really smart. So they'll look beautiful in shot.
And the other thing that's really nice about them actually when you burn them is that because of the way they're created, you can burn all three together too in harmony.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that, weren't we? How you can get all the different fragrances work together so you can fill a room and change the mood.
Yeah, that's the idea.
I could say something so rude now, but I'm really
Go
going to
on. Go on.
I'm alright, so one's going to make you, one's a bit sexy.
Horny.
One's a bit, so you've got one that makes you go faster and one that makes you horny.
Yeah, well, I mean...
And then one to help you relax.
Well, there we go. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my goodness,
I meant all three in the hallway.
It still works. X-rated.
When you
X-rated
just,
podcast.
You just drop the bag and then you drop your pants.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
No editing going on in this podcast.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Anyway, yeah, so they work really well
so
together.
You put a whole new slant on that one. I'm going to have to just to do a little, because there's a little blog on our website as well, which I interview little bits for. But that's going to be coming out there, I think, somehow. I like that. That's funny. But yeah.
So... That's what's next then. So just pushing it, making sure people hear about it. Because you're relatively new. You've been going 6 months. That's 5 minutes in the grand scheme of things. So, yeah, just spreading the word. And if
we're going to investigate some fairs.
Fairs
we've been told that would be really good.
Well, I interviewed Abigail Edwards not so long ago, and she does wallpapers, and she just brought a book out, and she's literally in New York as we speak, promoting her wallpapers and stuff, and she says she has a phenomenal
that's cool.
a really good kind of response from it, but also she meets such amazing people when she does it. She loves it. So I think you should be at Chelsea. I've just come from Chelsea this morning, and that would be perfect.
Maybe I'm going tomorrow, maybe I just take a few candles in my bag and stick them on a surface and see what happens.
In a garden or two.
I know, very funny.
Well, Jo,
it's fun.
Thank you so much for letting me come back again and for having fun. It's been brilliant. The candles are beautiful.
Oh,
really beautiful.
You're a darling.
Thanks for listening to the Inside Stylist Podcast. You'll find all the links from today's episode in the show notes at insidestylist.com/JoGB. Now, don't forget to head over to Jo's website, jogbliving.com, to order your aroma card. I'd go for Mojo if I was you. So, until next time, bye for now.